much bigger. Assisi has about, I think Assisi has about 20,000 to be honest, but Spello has just about 8,000 people. And the modern town is in the valley, and the beautiful old ancient Roman town is up on the hill. Now what we're going to be doing is we'll be seeing some of the town before dinner. Right, we'll be going this evening, and we're going to be having dinner out on the terrace, right, with a gorgeous view overlooking the, it's called the Topino Valley, right, the Topino Valley. And the Topino Valley is this beautiful valley here in this part of Umbria. It used to be marshland and swampland area a long time, but not such a lot, okay, but a little. Then the Romans came along, and the Romans decided it was time to make the most of this community, right, this area. And so they decided that they would drain the area of the Topino Valley and make it much more fertile and much more productive. And so that's exactly what they did, right? The Romans came along, they drained the area, they managed to divert the waters to go back down into the main rivers and then down into the Tiber River, right? So it used the plains for a much more productive purpose, right, to grow their crops and to grow, it was a much healthier place too, because of course when you've got swamps you've also got mosquitoes and you've got all kinds of disease, right, which it became, they called it Splendidissima Julia, right, Splendidissima Julia was one of the Roman names for the town. Spellium, we had the Longobards, right, the Longobards who were from Lombardy, right, from the northern regions, they came down. The Frankish soldiers came down, the Papal States and the popes arrived, and then it was in the 1300s, which would have been the Roman period, right, when the Romans were here, and the town was really flourishing under Roman rule. And then you have the 1300s, the latter part of the 1300s, when Spello was an independent little city-state, and it was ruled over by a family called the Baglioni, right, the Baglioni family. They came along and they took over. Evening, you're going to be having a beautiful view. I have to be honest with you, everybody, this is a restaurant I haven't been to before because, you know, COVID didn't survive COVID. It never opened up again after COVID. This one, I have heard good reports about it from my colleagues, so I'm not worried about it whatsoever. I've been told it's a little bit like home cooking, right, good sort of home cooking, and you're going to be having local specialities, right, really the local specialities. We're going to be having a tortina, which is like a little vegetable tart, like a little vegetable pastry to start off with, which is served with a type of local cheese on the top as well. And we have a special type of pasta, which again with a sauce from the local area, which is with zucchini and bacon, and again cheese. Then we have, for those of you who eat beef, we have beef as the main course. For those of you who don't, I've ordered a couple of chicken, right, some chicken. And I've been on the phone all day long really to Christiana, who is the lady who runs the restaurant, and she's been popping backwards and forwards to the market and getting all kinds of things. So I'm sure it's going to be a lovely evening. But it is a place that I haven't been to before, but I can't wait really either, because when I said to her, I said, you know, the nicest view, where do we get the nicest view from? And she just, there was a sort of a silence on the telephone. So the decorations that you'll see eventually on the Porta Consolare, I'll remind you when we get down there after dinner, were not actually original. They are original Roman, but they have been moved from the place where they were, and they've been placed on the ancient Roman gateway, because porta, right, porta means gateway, right, so it's a consular gateway. And we'll also be seeing one other old Roman gateway as we walk to the coach right after dinner. So loads and loads of things to see. It'll be beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful churches in Spello as well, everybody. I don't know the name of all of them by any means, but we are going to be passing by the churches of Sant'Andrea and Santa Maria Maggiore after dinner as we walk down through the centre of town. Again, beautiful churches from the 1300s. the road as we were driving up through Umbria, there was a sign lit up over the roadway saying, "Do not throw your cigarettes out of the window." You know, because some drivers just wind down their window and throw their cigarette out. But everywhere is just so dry, because they haven't had any rain. Right, so there's the gardens of the Villa Fidelia. People shouldn't need telling, should they, not to throw their cigarette out? I mean, really, common sense should tell them they don't do that anyway. These are all the walls of the villa, because it's all the grounds of the villa behind us to the right-hand side. This is a private residence here on the right-hand side, look. Very nice too. That's a nice view, look too, to the right-hand side. The slender dark tree. Folks, you all know what these metal pins are for, don't you? What metal pins? The big. Right, the view to the right, that's Spello lit up by night time, look. That's the church that we walked past, look, Venere, that tower that you can see lit up there on the right hand side. And that's another of the, which part of the animal we've just eaten. Now remember everybody, it is only a one-nighter tonight, right? So I hope you haven't unpacked everything in the suitcases, because remember we're moving out again tomorrow. This is our only one-nighter, but yeah. So tomorrow morning, they are actually going to ring you at 6 o'clock. It doesn't get any earlier, not really. 6 o'clock they're going to call you, because they're opening up for us, for breakfast at 6:30. Breakfast, everybody. Oh, bless you. Salute. Bless you. Breakfast is. Did you know? Downstairs, if I remember right. Breakfast is sotto. Oggi 8. Dove vanno la colazione? Penso che è sotto. I have a funny feeling, it's a while since I've been in this hotel, but I have a funny feeling, I didn't even check, never even thought to check, because I'm carrying on across with you to breakfast. Just leave them in your room, and you can head back to your rooms after breakfast, and then down in the hall, ready for departure at 7:15, right, 7:15 departure from the hotel, right, to go down to the coach, right, and by that time all of our large luggage will have been loaded on the coach for us, and we'll be ready to leave for Florence. The good thing, everybody, tomorrow, well, maybe it's a good thing, we personally don't take you into any churches tomorrow, right? You might want to go in a church by yourselves, and there is the church of Santa Croce in Florence, right? The beautiful, it's a church that was built in 1280, I think. And, excuse me, it's the Church of Santa Croce, right? Santa Croce. And inside that church, you have tombs and monuments to Michelangelo, Machiavelli, Galileo, Rossini.